Chapter 1. Being a boss is hard work. It requires a lot of dedication and hustle. Before Singh started her career in the entertainment industry, she was the leader of a small dance company in Toronto. She tried her best to make the team work, but discovered that she couldn't because others did not buy into her dream. Her dance company dreams faded away gradually, but her discovery of YouTube soon made up for it. It was on YouTube that her journey began to being a boss again. Singh's dance team's failure helped her learn a crucial lesson. Work with what's in your control. This lesson can be applied to so many situations in your life. When something unpleasant happens to you, control your reactions instead of lashing out. This is how you become a boss. A boss is like a boss, but even more epic. Unlike a boss who is defined as such only within the workplace, a boss excels in personal and professional settings. If you can't control people, then control your reaction to them. If you can't control a situation, then prepare for it. Lilly Singh. As a boss, you should understand that there are many things in life you have no control over, and it is inefficient to become frustrated by that reality. Not being able to control people and situations doesn't make you powerless. It means you have to exercise your power differently. If you can't control people, then control your reaction to them. If you can't control a situation, then prepare for it. Video games are a great analogy for life. You go through levels, get thrown off by obstacles, and face several enemies. The game will become harder, but it gets better eventually because you become smarter, faster, and more skilled. The enemies will keep coming. It's your job to navigate your character through a situation you cannot control. That's exactly how you should view life. The best way to stop people from pushing your buttons is to start pushing your own. Whether you're unsure of the next step to take in your career or simply need some motivation, this summary is your ultimate guide. It addresses all the ways that you can be a better person in all the spheres of your life. Keep reading to find out how to be a boss and conquer life at the same time. Chapter 2. Your mind is your biggest asset, and it controls all your actions. Ensure it stays positive. Understanding your mind's power is key to being a boss. In most situations, you can teach your mind to function by conquering your thoughts. This means understanding why you feel the way you feel, what prompts you to carry out certain actions, what causes specific reactions, and what circumstances lead you to make regrettable decisions. Once you discover all the ins and outs of your mind, you can approach situations differently. Your mind is your most powerful tool, but it's not useful if you don't know how to use it. Lilly Singh. Conquering your thoughts is not a task that can be accomplished overnight. It's an ongoing process that requires frequent adjustments because your mind is constantly evolving. It requires you to analyze your feelings honestly. You should ask yourself how you could do things differently. The information you discover is powerful because it helps you to discover patterns and, in turn, use your mind productively and efficiently. This process might become uncomfortable at some point, but this is not a bad thing. Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations is crucial to developing new skills and gaining valuable experience. You have to seek out situations that make you uncomfortable and then throw yourself into them. This does not mean putting your life at risk. It only means you need to push yourself to do things that will help you reach your goal. To succeed at something, you have to step out of your comfort zone, little by little. Also, try not to get derailed by mistakes that you make because they're only temporary. Chapter 3. Emotional intelligence is as important as any other skill. It is proof of your growth and desire to improve. When you're in a situation where work needs to be done, you need to put your emotions away because they can cloud your judgment and reduce productivity, especially in a group setting. For instance, if there are 10 valid reasons to be angry in the middle of a project with many people who all have a job to get done, getting angry will not help. It's extremely difficult to do, but a boss understands the importance of controlling emotions. Sometimes you have to block out distracting emotions in order to get things done, especially if other team members are relying on you. Make every struggle count and remember that experience will always be a silver lining. Lilly Singh. Controlling your emotions does not mean you should allow anyone to disrespect you. If you're in a situation where you've completed a task successfully and still feel uncomfortable with the way someone treated or talked to you, then communicate it to them. You should be comfortable telling people how you'd like to be treated, but try not to have such a conversation in the middle of a work situation. From a personal standpoint, you can be a little more lenient because no one is relying on you to get work done except you. Your emotions need to be felt. It's not healthy to bottle up pain. Whenever something goes wrong and you feel hurt, dissect the pain and learn lessons from it. Not learning anything from pain because you are too overwhelmed with emotion is inefficient, especially since everyone experiences pain at different points in life. When you get hurt, try to understand how you feel and know that it provides you with the knowledge that will help you grow and deal with future struggles. Chapter 4. Don't overthink your mistakes, but make corrections and move on. Making mistakes brings you one step closer to success because if you're making mistakes, you're making the necessary moves to figuring your life out. While learning through life, your goal is to recognize your mistakes, learn from them, and try to prevent them in the future. These steps help to make your mistakes useful. Take ownership. When you admit to making a mistake, it's easier to learn from it and come up with a solution. Call yourself out. Ask yourself why you made a mistake before anyone else does. You should always be honest with yourself. Find solutions. Mistakes are valuable only if you discover how to prevent them from happening again. Once you honestly identify the cause of your mistake, come up with a solution. Communicate. Once you learn how to take ownership, call yourself out honestly, and find solutions, you can learn to apologize efficiently in a meaningful way. Humans have a tendency to overthink, which complicates simple things. But if you take a step back and remember your priorities, it becomes easier to make a decision. Lilly Singh. Sometimes when you're passionate about something, you tend to think a lot about it until it becomes unproductive. Overthinking prevents you from getting things done. A boss should know when to take the time to think something through and when to simply make a quick decision. Do not shy away from your mistakes because they are golden opportunities to learn from. When you're in a difficult situation, ask yourself basic questions while keeping your priorities in mind. Take advantage of your valuable time and make the necessary decisions even when they seem tough. Step out of the complicated maze you've created by overthinking and do what needs to be done. For most mistakes in life, it's easy to find solutions that simply cover up the problem, but when it comes to your professional, personal, and behavioral problems, a simple cover-up won't fix it. You need to get to the root of the problem. A lot of times it seems scary to address your inner issues because you don't think they can be fixed, but sometimes solutions can be found with time, effort, and creativity. Chapter 5. Just like any other muscle in your body, Self-control needs to be exercised if it's going to get stronger. If you have to get something done, there are several ways you can set goals for yourself. One way is to create a schedule and try completing a task by a certain time. Another way is to set a goal to tell yourself that you'll finish a certain number of tasks before you're done working for the day. This way, you know that you can only rest when you complete a task. Setting goals requires you to work efficiently by keeping to your resolve to work for a certain time. You don't have to suddenly decide to change something in your life to exercise self-control, but you can set challenges for yourself. Once you achieve a goal, it's important to reward yourself. A reward could be a break in between tasks, or you can give yourself a bigger reward for completing all your work at the end of the day, but you need to make sure that these rewards are well-earned and reasonable. The reward system will work as motivation only as long as you don't cheat. One way to avoid cheating is to put your reward in the hands of someone else. You can also exercise self-control in your relationships by choosing who to be close to and not revealing all your plans to everyone in your life. Not everyone needs to know what you are up to. This is why boundaries are so important. Behind every successful person is a relentless work ethic, the ability to block out distractions, and self-control. Lilly Singh. Think of a habit you'd like to break and give yourself many training lessons. When you find ways to work your self-control muscle, you'll develop stamina. If you're constantly struggling to exercise self-control when it comes to finishing your work, maybe it's time to question your work. When you like what you do, you're motivated to keep doing it. The simple way to have self-control is to do what you like. Chapter 6. It is essential that you love yourself first before anyone else. This is not selfish, it is self-love. Love shouldn't just be reserved for other people. To be a boss, you must first learn to love yourself. It's only when you love yourself that you can genuinely love others. When you don't love yourself, you will project your insecurities and internal issues onto others, preventing you from ever genuinely seeing them for who they are. Loving yourself means you care about yourself, and if you are well taken care of, you are more likely to be happy, healthy, and productive. Loving yourself means consoling yourself and encouraging yourself when you face failure, and most importantly, loving yourself means that you advocate for yourself, ensuring that you're treated the way a boss should be treated. Like any other relationship, the one with yourself takes time and effort. Lilly Singh. When you're dealing with difficult situations, it's easy to focus on how your actions will affect others, but don't forget that you're also a person who deserves to be considered. Fulfilling your dreams requires you to show up for yourself when nobody else does. You are your biggest support system. Sometimes you may be forced to enter survival mode because you have financial problems or your physical or mental health limits you. Instead of settling like a survivor, you can conquer like a boss by setting higher goals. Don't just try to pass your classes, try to ace them. Don't just aim to pay your bills, save enough to travel. Self-love inspires you to work hard for your dreams and all the things that matter to you, and you should not ruin this by bullying yourself into thinking you don't deserve to be loved. When you get tired, you need to pause. You can only enjoy something if you take a moment to appreciate it and pay attention to it. When you're a boss and hustling every day, life seems to move fast. You can take a break regularly by meditating, disconnecting from others for a little while, and showing yourself some more love. Chapter 7. Your goals will only come to life when you constantly put in enough effort. Being a boss requires you not only to make great decisions that will help you achieve your goals, but also to commit to those decisions regardless of the obstacles you will face. The two most common obstacles on your path to your dreams are usually fear and distraction. You'll never truly know if you can accomplish something or be great at something if you don't commit. Fear and nervousness are things you shouldn't be afraid to experience. Being scared and nervous means that you value the outcome of a situation. However, fear becomes problematic when it begins to affect your performance. Understanding when to adopt and abandon these feelings is an important first step in controlling them. Another way to control your nervousness is to give yourself a pep talk before any task. This helps you feel motivated and ready to face your challenges. Sometimes while working, it is normal to experience FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out, and it's a crucial obstacle to overcome on the road to success. You'll never truly know if you can accomplish something or be great at something if you don't commit. Lilly Singh. Distractions will always exist, and that will never change. What has to change is your ability to deal with them. The only way to overcome FOMO is to recognize that the joy of accomplishing goals is much greater than the disappointment of missing out on a little fun. Train your brain to pay attention to the rewards you receive when hustle beats FOMO on the battlefield. Make a list of your accomplishments and recognize how you achieved them. Focusing on your work moves you closer to reaching your goals. A lack of motivation doesn't equal failure, nor is it a permanent weakness. It is only a temporary bump. No matter how much you love doing something and how happy it makes you, you're human, and you will have moments when you're feeling unmotivated. A boss expects it and addresses it. When you feel low on inspiration, try to watch a movie or listen to someone who inspires you to do better. Chapter 8. You need to know what you want from life. A vision can help place your life in perspective. There are two types of vision boards and visualization. A vision board is a piece of paper or any surface that has images of all the things you want to obtain in life. The idea is to collect images that represent your goals and paste them onto the board to create a collage. Then you place the board someplace where you will see it often, reminding you of your goals. Creating a vision board gives you clarity about your goals, helps you remain self-aware, and allows you to be constantly reminded of what you want in life. A boss doesn't just know what they want for Christmas, they know what they want from life. Lilly Singh. On the other hand, visualization can either be long-term or short-term, depending on the situation. Long-term visualization is when you imagine yourself in a scenario that you hope will become a reality one day. You're not quite sure when or how it will happen. All you know is that you want it to happen. In other words, you imagine the experience of obtaining all the things on your vision board. Short-term visualization is helpful when you know you are going to be doing something specific and you want to imagine how the scenario will play out. For instance, you can imagine the crowd's reaction to your performance if you are a musician. Even when your first instinct is to give up, you have to keep working on your goals. In life, you're not always going to get exactly what you want, so you have to ask for more than you need. When you go for something you want, there are 3 possible outcomes: ideal, workable, and horrible. No matter the outcome, you can always work with what you have. A boss does not let anything stop them from aiming high. It's fine to push for what you want as long as you're polite about it. If you aim low, you'll end up lower than you intended. That's why you have to aim high, because no one else is going to compensate for your lack of ambition. Chapter 9. For you to win, it is important that you understand your field and show your potential at every opportunity. Parents always emphasize how important it is to have backup plans just in case one fails, but having too many options only results in confusion. If you really want to do something, don't have a plan B. Having a plan B means you're expecting plan A to fail, and that isn't the right attitude. Kate Winslet. Think of the one thing you want to do and make that your plan A. You don't need to clutter your mind with 3 other plans that are backups. Your mind, energy, and time need to be united for your plan A to work. Your dreams require you to put in some work before you can begin to enjoy the benefits. But social media has gotten almost everyone into the habit of saying things instead of simply doing things. Saying something is not the same as doing it. Talking about something doesn't make it true, and action is only meaningful if it's consistent. A boss knows that if you want to be taken seriously, you need to show people who you are and then keep showing them. So instead of telling your boss that you're a hard worker, let your actions show it so that they can notice it and promote you. Knowing the game helps you play to the best of your ability and prevents you from being cheated. Almost everything in life is a game, and like most things, games require strategy, rules, levels, and players. Whatever your occupation, it's essential to know the game so that you can excel at playing it. One of the best ways to do this is become aware of what everyone else in the same field is doing. Not only does this give you the ability to learn from other people's successes and mistakes, but it also encourages healthy competition, which is necessary for growth. In addition, knowing the other players in the game can help you adjust your strategy accordingly. Chapter 10. You need to scale your way up to your desired goals by starting small and making the right choices. Many situations in life require you to climb an invisible ladder. The thing about the ladder is that no matter how high up you reach, there will always be people above you, and sometimes the people above you will throw stones at you to try to knock you down. This behavior can be intentional or unintentional. There will be obstacles, exhaustion, and some disappointments on your journey, but when you climb the ladder, you learn lessons, build character, and earn knowledge. Everyone is always trying to look for shortcuts because they save time and are convenient, but a boss knows that there are no shortcuts to success. My secret to success is exactly what most people don't want to hear. It's a ton of hard work. Lilly Singh. Working hard can be exhausting, but you can make it easier by having a team with whom you can share ideas. It might take some time, but in the end, hard work always pays off. A major enemy of hard work is procrastination. Procrastination is that voice that craves instant gratification and convinces you that almost everything can be put off for later. As a result, you will wait until the last possible minute to start your task. Everyone has had to procrastinate at one point or the other. The people around you can either make or destroy your dreams. Choose them wisely. To solve the issue of procrastination, you need to set deadlines. This can be difficult, especially when you run your business and answer to nobody else, but it is possible. Creating a deadline takes a huge amount of self-control, and that's why sometimes you have to force them upon yourself. For larger projects or goals, it's harder to set just one deadline. Instead, it may be smarter to break the goal down into small pieces and assign each of those pieces a specific deadline. If you need to force yourself to stick to those deadlines, set meetings with partners or friends and commit to sharing your ideas with them on a certain date. Deadlines are always easier to follow when they're public and you're held accountable for them. Did you know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson still has a personal trainer? Chapter 11. Many things in life are crucial, but you need to understand that no one thing should make or break you. One success is a good building block, but it's not the only thing supporting you. Similarly, one pillar crumbling away does not destroy an entire empire. Therefore, one failure should not destroy everything you've built. Your growth should not depend on one thing that you do or do not do. Instead, you should always give all your opportunities the best shot and keep moving on to the next. There is no correct way of living life and no one path that leads to success. A boss knows that there are many different pathways to every destination in life, and just because you've only been given one set of directions, that doesn't mean you can't try out other options. Doing work eliminates the need for luck. Lilly Singh. Working on your dreams requires you to be up and about and do so many things simultaneously. You need to be active so that your body can keep up with your hustle. Making small changes in order to live a healthier lifestyle can make a big difference. You can stretch early in the mornings, take the stairs instead of the elevator, drink more water, and substitute some of your unhealthy food for healthy food. You need to be healthy to have an all-around happy life, and it starts with doing little things consistently. There are so many stressful situations that you can encounter in a day, but the key to solving them is recognizing what they are and making plans so that they don't happen again. Every little bit of stress you eliminate contributes to a more productive day. Make a list of all the things that stressed you out the previous day and see how you can solve them. Chapter 12. Failures mean that you are making moves. They are a representation of how hard you are trying to be successful. Failure doesn't necessarily mean the end of an idea or project. When things don't go the way you anticipate, it may feel easier to feel like you have to start over, but that's not always the solution. If one opportunity will make or break your success, then your idea of success isn't solid enough to begin with. Lilly Singh. Sometimes you do not need to start all over or change an existing plan. All you need to do is get down to work and use the tools you have to create an even better masterpiece. No matter who you are, there is going to be something you want that will require you to start from the bottom. That shouldn't scare you because you are a boss and you thrive on challenges. You shouldn't feel entitled to success. You should feel empowered to earn it. You're special because you are a unique individual, processing a set of characteristics that no one else in the world has. But that specialness goes away if you do not try again when you fail, or you run away from opportunities. You are capable of designing the life you want by taking little steps in the direction of your goals. When you achieve a goal, it is possible for other people's validation to make you feel entitled. But as a boss, you should remember that if you are going to feel validated, it should happen only when you accomplish goals or contribute to society. You should celebrate when you accomplish something great. Celebrating yourself is an integral part of loving yourself, but be aware of getting validated without reason or too often, because an overly comfortable environment is not one in which hustle thrives. Chapter 13. Surround yourself with smarter people, but do not stop investing in yourself at every turn. A boss knows that it's beneficial to be the dumbest person in the room in certain situations. Surrounding yourself with people who are more experienced and knowledgeable than you are is a great way to step outside your comfort zone and continue to learn and grow. Being the dumbest person on your team doesn't make you a stupid person. It means you're smart enough to select people to work with that you can learn from. It also means checking your ego and being okay with the fact that you aren't the best at something. If I'm always in rooms that are overly comfortable, then I'm in the wrong rooms. Lilly Singh. On your journey to becoming a boss, you need to realize that you are never too good to stop investing in yourself. The world is continually evolving, so you need to grow as well. Your best today may not be enough next year, so keep developing. You can invest in yourself by taking the time to learn new things, taking the time to read books, watching videos, and attending events that will expand your current knowledge base. Feel free to leave situations that you've outgrown and replace them with new opportunities. The second thing you can invest in yourself is energy. Investing energy into yourself refers to taking classes, practicing your craft, and ensuring that you're making decisions that will benefit you. These things require not only time, but focus and repetition and, therefore, energy. For instance, if you are a singer, you could go to singing lessons or practice singing for a number of hours in a day. For you to make money, you need to spend some. As you grow, you need to spend some money on a team or other people who can help you work better. In the long run, the money you spend on your team enables you to make more money and saves you from mistakes. Your amazing ideas need you to invest your time, energy, and money before they become successful. Before you make a decision regarding anything, ensure that it serves your dreams and is inching you closer to your goals. Chapter 14. Protocols can be the reason you are not making any progress. Sometimes you need to ignore them and press on. Rules are essential most of the time, but there are other times when you should ignore protocol. If everyone followed protocol all the time, no one would ever do something for the first time, and nothing would change. A boss doesn't need to always do things the way they're traditionally done. If you feel like a rule is not accommodating your dreams, you need to consider following another route. Everyone notices a boss because they walk with purpose, speak with confidence, and light up a room, so it's impossible to miss them. As a boss, you need to radiate so much energy that you become difficult to forget. Below are guidelines on how to make a great first impression and impress people beyond that first encounter. Smile for a reason. Many people just smile because it's polite to do so. To have a true presence, smile for a reason. Listen to understand. Instead of thinking of a response while someone is speaking, pause and focus on what they're actually telling you. Then engage and ask questions to understand further and continue the conversation. Don't be robotic. If you want to register your presence, mean what you say. Live in the moment. The best way to make a good impression is to be present. This means that when you're at an event or talking to someone, be there entirely. Don't constantly check your phone or be thinking about something else. Be confident. A big part of having a great presence is confidence. You can increase your confidence by dressing comfortably, making power poses in front of the mirror, and listening to your favorite songs. When you speak to people, be audible and ensure that you are not slouching or folding your arms, as that can make you seem unapproachable. Do things your way. Break the system. Lilly Singh. Don't let a system and the people who exist in it tell you how you should act if it doesn't feel right to you. Do things your way and break the limits that already exist. Chapter 15. Your ability to communicate effectively informs others of your goals and prevents them from misconstruing your opinions. Communication becomes difficult when you don't say what you mean. The more you try to sugarcoat the things you say, the more your actual message gets lost. Say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Lilly Singh. Being straightforward doesn't mean you have to be rude or harsh. There's always a way to be open and honest while also being respectful. No matter what the situation is, it's always tempting to rehearse dialogue so that you say what you think you're supposed to say. Relationships are built through communication, but they can also fail when two people do not see things from the same perspective. If something is important to you, it might not be as important to them. This doesn't mean that you cannot ever be in a successful relationship with someone with different priorities. You can have the same goals even, but you need to learn to understand each other's priorities and keep them in mind. If you can be mindful of the fact that other people are motivated by their own priorities, you won't feel like they're intentionally disrespecting you. You can miss someone that hurt you, but don't let them define what a relationship is supposed to be. If you absolutely cannot accept someone else's priorities, that's a good indication that you may not be the best fit for each other. In most cases, when you miss someone who hurt you, it isn't because they were right for you, they were familiar to you and represented a certain ideal. It is your attachment to an idealized relationship that is hard to let go of. If someone hurts you or simply decided they didn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, they are not right for you. It may feel like they are, even though they hurt you, but they aren't. Don't convince yourself that your ex is the only one for you. The right person for you exists, and they are everything that you want. Chapter 16. The people you meet can be the ones who help you attain another level of success. Be polite to everyone. Singh learned from her meeting with both Dwayne Johnson and Jimmy Fallon that introducing yourself to everyone in a room is a good way to make a first impression. She made sure to greet everyone on set when it was time to shoot YouTubers Read Mean Tweets for Jimmy Kimmel's show and ended up with an invitation to another Jimmy Kimmel show. Whenever you meet someone for the first time, you have the opportunity to make a good first impression and ensure they remember you. People always remember how you made them feel. You should positively make this memorable. It is easy to spend time talking ill about other people, but you should try to resist the urge to infuse negativity into your conversations. The next time you're tempted to say something mean about someone, pause and count to 10 in your head. Once you master this skill, the next step is to stop allowing judgmental, mean thoughts to occupy space in your brain in the first place. There is always a way to be open and honest while being respectful. Anyone who behaves otherwise is just being lazy. Lilly Singh. When you meet someone new, instantly look at them. Pick a feature to admire, and then store them in your mental contact list. The goal is to train your brain to think positively so that you can develop positive ideas. Being kind to people includes being polite, smiling, and generally being a good person to be around. But if you want to be kind like a boss, then you need to understand that sometimes your kindness must be proactive. This means actively thinking of ways to be good to people that will leave a lasting impression. If someone mentioned that they liked a particular item, you could remember this for their next birthday. You should treat kindness like a task on your daily to-do list and give it as much importance as everything else. Chapter 17. Allow your environment to inspire you by filling it with the things that remind you of your goals. You are a product of your environment. This means it is up to you to create an environment where you thrive. Creating a physical environment that makes you feel motivated is something that is entirely in your control. It could be through art, your stationery, or your laptop's wallpaper. Your wiring is not basic, and you shouldn't be either. Lilly Singh. There are 5 ways to create a boss environment. Choose a Facebook, Twitter, or email password that is an affirmation or important reminder of your goals. If you struggle with a certain thought or bad habit, write yourself notes and post them in places where you will constantly see them. Change your ringtone to a song that makes you happy. Follow some fun pages on Instagram. Certain colors can make you feel certain emotions, and you can use this to your benefit. Choose colors that evoke a positive emotion and surround yourself with them. Sometimes you have to make major decisions for your growth. Singh moved from her hometown, Toronto, to LA and discovered that she felt more motivated because her people were also working hard. It is your job to create the best possible environment for yourself. When you help people, you're building a community of hard-working bosses who will ultimately change the world. A boss also recognizes that there is a force more powerful than them, whether it's God, another high being, science, or miracles. Knowing that there will always be a bigger boss one step above you is a great way to keep yourself grounded, no matter how high you climb the ladder of success. It is normal to meet people who need your help. Support those who work hard, but do not allow them to use you as a reason to slack off. A boss knows that values need to be upheld even during the most difficult and stressful situations and does not hesitate to show the way to others. Conclusion. Conquering your mind, body, and soul and training them to work as a team allows you to align your thoughts, actions, and emotions. This alignment will result in genuine happiness and provide you with the optimal conditions to be productive. And this is how you become a boss. Try to think of your mind, body, and soul as members of a group project. You get the best grade when everyone does an equal amount of work. The next time you do something, pay attention to the feeling you have afterward. If you feel guilty about your actions, chances are your team is not aligned. If you regret saying something, chances are you're not in sync. Your strength is everlasting. You are the most powerful person in your life, and don't you ever forget that you call the shots. Lilly Singh. A lot of bad things may happen on your journey to becoming a boss, but continuously talking about what you hate doesn't get rid of any of it. It only makes you feel better for a short time. If you want to solve problems, don't lash out at all the wrong things. Instead, promote all the solutions. Promoting what you love results in seeing more of what you love in the world. It is easy to get used to the clothes you own and the clean air you breathe and forget that they are privileges. To be a boss, you must constantly remind yourself of all that you have to be grateful for and learn to truly appreciate those things. One way to do this is to call out the simple things that you overlook. Another way to be aware of your privileges is to put yourself in situations where you get to witness firsthand how blessed you are. You can do this by traveling, watching documentaries, reading a book, or simply viewing a YouTube video. If you're just starting out in your career, getting into a new relationship, or beginning a new chapter in your life, it's important to reflect on what reaching this milestone means to you. Being a boss is hard work, but it is possible if you dare. Working on yourself daily with your eyes on the prize puts you in the position to take every opportunity as it comes. Try this. Make a list of your goals and include how you hope to achieve them. Set a deadline for these goals and share them with someone you trust. Think of all the things in your life that you take for granted and try to appreciate them as you experience them.